Hi there, my name is Laura and welcome to Book Bubbler. I thought I would pop in and do a really quick Friday reads before I leave for work this afternoon. By the time I get home tonight it will be dark, though it's starting to get dark by 3:30 in the afternoon, so that's not saying a lot. Anyways, I just have 3 books I have finished since my last update. I apologize for the little vibrations. Let me see if I can stop bumping the desk. Just have 3 books I have read since my last update. I am, well, I would hate to say on track to finish my minor reading goal, but I'm hopeful. So the first book is A Turn for the Bad by Sheila Connolly. This is the 4th in the County Cork mystery series. I'll pretty much stop reading these from here on out just because my library doesn't have ebooks available for books 5 through 8 yet. So in this 4th one, Maura Donovan, oh, what happens? Oh, a local dairy farmer goes missing off of the beach walking with his 3 or 4-year-old son one day. And after a while, Maura hears talk at the pub that there is some kind of drug bust going on, and her cop friend, who they're sort of dating but not, comes in to tell her to keep her ears open, see if she spots anyone that shouldn't belong that's new. And she ends up being involved, of course, in the attempted rescue of this missing dairy farmer. There's a big drug ring involved and all the other stuff. I don't know. Oh, her friend Gillian is back from Dublin. She is pregnant and living with Maura temporarily, so that's a little extra thing, but this was fine. These are just really nice mysteries. Nothing terribly exciting, but nice enough. 3 stars, you know, just fine. Then, I should have gotten this out of the sleeve, is The Grownup by Gillian Flynn. That's 2 Gillians in a row with books. That's kind of strange. Anyways, this is a very little slim guy. This was a freebie from Book of the Month Club a couple of years ago. In this short story, there is a woman who kind of had a rough start, but begged with her mother on the streets and was good at it. And she is working, when we open the book, she's working as a hand job only prostitute. There's no other way to say it. And she eventually ends up working in the front of the room, reading people's palms and stuff. And this woman comes in and she tries to help her. That's saying that her house is haunted and her stepson is trying to kill her and he abused the family cat, which infuriated me, but it was a 1-sentence thing and it was near the end of this little stupid thing. I have had this thing knocking around my read soon piles since I got it in the mail years ago, so I was just so ticked off at that point I didn't care. Anyways, back to the story. So as this lady, whose name I don't remember, is trying to help this woman, she starts to feel like maybe the house is haunted and maybe her stepson is trying to kill her and she's not crazy. So all these twists happen, which makes sense. And it ends sort of ambiguously, not terribly ambiguously, but you know, it ends just fine. I don't like Gillian Flynn's novel writing. I loved it when she wrote for Entertainment Weekly for years, and I was sad to see her go. And I read Gone Girl when the hype was just starting to get hyped up, and that is the only book that I have absolutely hated in recent memory. I read the end of it and then threw it across the room. I was so sick of it. So I just read this because I had it and it was free and it's short. So this was fine. I'm not going to keep it by any means. This was okay. But anyways, just so relieved to have this little thing gone out of my sight. And the last one I finished just a little while ago. This is the first in the Souls of Fire novel series. I think there are 4 or 5 books, I'm not sure, but it's by Keri. This is called Fireborn. Emberly is our main lady here on the cover. She is a phoenix. I don't recall ever reading a book with a phoenix as a main character before. What is this classed as? Urban fantasy. It's set in Melbourne like so many of Keri Arthur's books are. I really appreciate that it's an Aussie writer writing in Australia, setting things in Australia, even though I am assuming that all these things don't exist in real life and people don't know about vampires and stuff and are just hiding it from the rest of the world. Anyways, so in this one, Emberly is working for a scientist of some kind. It's just the 2 of them, and he ends up missing and then very violently dead. And her ex, who is a cop that is now working for a paranormal investigative group that's between cops and CIA, sort of kind of a thing. He's in trying to help fight this infection that turns people into these crazy kind of blood zombies. Hearing me say this out loud, this sounds really insane, but when I'm reading, it's just really good and I'm into it. I started out the first 100 pages. I was so into it and I was so excited. I have previously read her Riley Jensen Guardian series and loved that book. It's about werewolves and stuff, again, set in Melbourne, but I couldn't turn pages fast enough. I just love that book. Part of that could be because I was reading it shortly after my dad passed away. My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, so I might have just been happy for anything to take me so completely out of my world. Regardless, I loved that series of, I think, 9 books. So well, the first 100 pages, I thought, oh my gosh, this is just like Riley, set in the same world, but it's not quite the same. And it's not the Riley books. This is still probably a 3.5-star book. I liked it. I enjoyed it. But it's missing something. It felt more uneven compared to the Riley books. It seemed unevenly paced. Like some parts were so quick and things were skipped over, and then some parts were kind of drawn out. And I'm hoping that as the series goes on, I do have them on my shelves and I'll keep going. This was my purse book, so I think I'll put the second one in my purse before I go to work now, but I'm hoping that they get a little more even and we'll see what the overarching plot is throughout the whole series. But so far, this was nice. So 3 read in, what, 2 or 3 days? That's not terrible. That leaves me with 22 books left to read before the end of the year if I want to try and make my Goodreads goal of 175 books. I would like to hit that. I just counted before I hopped in the shower. Again, wet hair, going to work soon. I just counted. I am in the middle of 10 books. That does not include ebooks. And one book I was listening to through Audible, and I realized part of the way through talking it over with one of my clients who has read this book and liked it a lot, that I had missed some pretty big stuff. I wasn't sure. Who I thought was the main character is not really the main character, and I had gotten a secondary character who gets murdered very shortly from the start of the book confused with someone else. So I am reading that, a physical copy now. I'm counting that one. I'm starting over. So if I can finish those 10 books, that will leave me with 12 books left to finish by the end of the year. I have enough short books and I have enough books that are like this one that are, 350, 400 pages, very easy reading, and the pages just fly. So I'm hoping that I can pull it off. I think I can. I have to work tomorrow, Saturday, and I have errands most of the day Monday, but hopefully I can just read until next week, Thursday, when I go back to work and just kind of get ready for the holiday. So I will post this when I get home tonight. How are you guys doing? What are you reading this week? Have you finished stuff? How are your goals coming along? I am working on my 2020 goals, and I'm hoping to film after Christmas next week, maybe next weekend, once I get things a little more firmed up. And I am going to really, really try and figure out how to use iMovie to edit this thing. I want to show you my TBR shelves, but that involves walking between rooms, these shelves and then the ones in my living room too. And I'd like to do some up-close shots of my shelves with maybe voiceovers, but I don't know how to do that yet. And every time I try, my computer shuts down or iMovie shuts down, or I don't know, whatever. So enough rambling. I hope you have had a good week and are reading something wonderful, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.